My life was lived in an exceptional, almost film-like way. I had a more or less peaceful life after the concentration camps, with many losses of loved ones when I was practically a child. But thanks to the Spanish journalist and writer Antonio González Iturbe, the story of a part of my life and of the people who surrounded it all that time became much better now. So let me introduce myself. My name is Dita Krausova, although my maiden name and surname were Edith Polachova, and I am a survivor of the Nazi concentration camps, specifically Auschwitz. My parents and I belonged to the middle class, and we had a house that was known the electric house because in the basement there was an automatic washing machine in which all the neighbors washed their clothes. The automatic machine was famous all over Prague. My parents loved music, especially opera. They went to many concerts, played the piano together for hands. But everything changed with the arrival of the Germans. The first time I hear the word you, I was in the third grade. It was 1938. At that moment, when the war started, my father was fired for the simple fact that he was Jewish. Weeks later, the Germans seized our flats. Little by little, the restrictions increased. But without a doubt, the hardest blow for me was when they imposed a ban that we Jewish boys and girls could not go back to school. From that time on, my father was my teacher at home, especially when he taught me geography with his big ball of the world, which he spun round and round so that I could find out where the countries were that he pointed to with his finger. On 1 September 1940, school started normally in Czechoslovakia, but not for me or for any Jewish child. We had to move to another area. I remember a German officer ordered us to vacate the flat because he liked it and he was going to take it over. We, like Jews, could no longer live in just any area. We have to live our lives in the Jewish ghetto. This time, no one called terracing. But this situation did not last in time, since much later we were transferred to the concentration camp Auschwitz-Birkenau. The train journey was painful. We were pushed on board. The sliding door on the carriage slammed shut, causing a revolution among those of us inside. Cramming into a carriage of castle and not for human beings, there was a bucket in which all of us who were there had no relief ourselves in front of everyone. Obviously, the bucket filled up quickly, but there was no way to empty it. It is impossible to describe the nauseating smell of the carriage with the screaming plus the sweat plus the vomit. I don't remember how long the journey lasted, but I do remember the lack of air. We arrived at our destination at midnight and were welcomed by blinding lights, accompanied by the fury of the cannibalistic dogs, and the soldiers began to beat us of the bacon with more blows. We had a thin blanket, a straw mattress, the clothes on our backs, a spoon and a bowl. That's all we had. Luckily, my mother and I, along with 1,500 other women, were taken from Oxbridge to Hamburg to work as slaves. Another 7,000 people, including the elderly, pregnant women, children, and people with special needs and physical disabilities, were killed in the death chambers in July 1944 after the Nazis had completed Barracks 31. Sometimes it wasn't even that, just aguachirri. Between March and April 1945, the concentration camps was liberated by opponents of Hitler's regime, including American and British. Sometime after the government expropriated my husband's father's former lingerie factory, we decided to immigrate to Israel, the promised land, in search for a better life. There I had three wonderful children named Peter Marin, Michaela, and Romy. In 2022, a young Spanish English student contacted me to explain through her computer transcript what my life has been like. With this manifesto, I hope that what my family and my people have been thought in the near and distant future will not be repeat because as famous person whose identity is not known today said a people who don't know the story are condemned to repeat it. Thank you so much.